So welcome to Nightcap Yoga. I'm Connie Bowman, for those of you who don't know me. I teach regularly under normal circumstances on Tuesday evenings in Fulton, Maryland, usually. And now I'm here on the Eastern Shore with the backdrop of the Chesapeake Bay and my, or the Assawoman Bay in my backyard. So enjoying the scenery and the laid-back beach lifestyle for a while now, so appreciating. And my husband and I were out today contributing to the economy, looking for ways to contribute to the economy, and I found this t-shirt and I thought this is so perfect for this practice. It says, "Welcome to this moment." So welcome to your practice, welcome to this moment, and my t-shirt is here to tell you to come into the present moment. Suggest. So when you're ready, find a comfortable seat, sit up on a blanket or some pillows or a block. And just come into this moment. Let your eyes close so you can really appreciate this moment. Draw your shoulders up, back, and down. Maybe roll them a couple of times. And start to begin to become aware of your external world, noticing the sounds. Seeing if you can discriminate from the sounds in the distance from the sounds that are closer in. Notice the temperature of the air and the quality of light that is shining in through your closed eyelids or your softened gaze. Notice your breath, the rise and fall of your chest as you inhale and exhale normally, naturally. And begin to scan the body, notice sensation in the body. Maybe you notice tightness or places that you might like to release tension in the body, and just bring your awareness to those places. Just bring some presence. And then leaving all of that, which will be here throughout the practice, just accepting all of those externals. Begin to invite in a deeper breath, filling up the belly, and the rib cage, and the heart space. And then exhale slowly and completely, letting go. Again, filling up belly, ribs, and the lungs, completely filling up. Maybe even taking a little pause at the top of the inhale just to notice, be present to that fullness of the breath. And then slowly release, exhaling completely. Inhaling again, settling into this slower expression of your presence, your breath, your awareness of your breath. Finding a slower rhythm, a slower pace. And send a message to your nervous system that it's okay. We're safe. It's time to slow down. Take a few more deep inhalations and slow exhalations. Settling in even more. So as we move through this practice this evening, I encourage you to just keep an awareness of sensation in the body and just make small modifications as needed. Make it your practice so that throughout this entire yoga experience, you are really present to yourself. So you notice the thoughts that move through your mind as you gently bring your awareness back to your own presence. Presence of your body, the presence of your breath. And as you're ready, blink your eyes open. Let's reach your arms up, reaching them up high, getting really tall. And then draw your hands down to your heart. Take your chin down to your chest. And just pause here. Maybe you create an intention for this practice, or maybe you have decided to dedicate this practice to someone about whom you've been thinking today, or someone who could use a prayer, or maybe a prayer goes out to the whole entire daggone world. And when you're ready, send your arms up again, and this time shower, rain it down, all the goodness, all the presence we've already created in just this couple of moments. And then inhale your shoulders up to your ears and exhale them down. We'll take a few shoulder rolls, just getting the shoulder kinks out. Good. And then go the other direction. You might notice I sound a little better today. I actually have a mic. And it's not a guy, it's actually a microphone. It's not a guy named Mike. Take your left hand over to the left and just walk your fingers out, continuing to sit up nice and tall. And see if you can take that left ear over to the left shoulder. Notice how that feels. Maybe the left hand, the right, oh gosh, I've already ruined it. So, the left fingers are walking out, and the right ear is coming down to the right shoulder, and the right hand is walking its way out, and you're getting a nice stretch. Sorry, you guys. It's distracted by the excitement of having a mic. When you're ready, bring your head back up to center. Reach that left arm up and around, reaching for that right ear, and take that left ear to your left shoulder. We have to laugh at ourselves, right? I'm just being present to my ridiculousness. I seriously can't mirror people. Take one more breath in and slowly release that. Walk those right fingers out to the right. And then take that left ear over to the left shoulder. See how far it'll go. Just reach it. So you can walk your left fingertips out a little bit more, or you can even reach for that right ear and just gently guide it down. Get a little more of a stretch. And as you're ready, on your exhale, slowly release that. Take that right arm up and over, reach for that left ear, and draw that right ear over to the right shoulder. Just making space. You can keep your eyes soft or closed here. Remembering it's your practice, it's your presence we're going for. And take one more breath in, and then exhale to release. Let that go. And then switch the cross of your legs. So you can give some equal time to both sides of the hips. Take a big breath in. Let's take 3 shoulder rolls again, because we are really going to relax the neck and shoulders. And then release. Oh, I got a lot of little crinkles there. Take your chin down to your chest. And as you inhale, lift that nose up to the sky. And as you exhale, chin comes to chest. Inhale again, lifting. And exhale, chin to chest. Last time here, lifting nose toward the ceiling, stretching that throat. Getting nice and long in the neck. And then taking your chin down to your chest. Just pause here. And take your hands to the fronts of your legs. We'll just take some spinal movements here. Just gentle movements forward and back. Inhaling, the chest comes forward, the shoulders roll back, the gaze comes up. And exhale, rounding forward. Belly comes into spine. Inhale to lift, and exhale to round. Let's take one more because we can. And exhale, round. Good. Let's take those feet in front of us, release those feet, give your ankles a little massage. Yeah, why not? And then release those feet in front of you and just rotate your ankles in both directions, inside and out. And then take your wrists and take some wrist circles. Let's get the kinks out of the wrists, rotate them in both directions. Good. And then take that right hand, extend it forward, reach those fingertips toward the floor. Good. And then take that arm up and overhead and give yourself a pat on the back for showing up. Take a nice big breath in, stretching that tricep. And then switch to the other side. Good. Fingertips point down to the floor. Big breath. Exhale it out. And then pat yourself on the back, reach up for that elbow, and breathe here, stretching the triceps. Good. And as you're ready, just shake that out. And then take your left leg, cross it over your right extended leg, and give yourself a big hug, and then twist. I give up, I'm not mirroring anymore. Just a gentle twist to begin. Big, tall, deep breath, like you're filling yourself up. And then as you exhale, take your gaze back behind you. It's such a pretty night here. One more breath in, and then exhale, just let it go, and switch sides. Just starting slow, keeping this whole practice slow so we can stay present. So you might notice one side might be a little more stretchy, and one side might need a little more TLC. So work with the breath, slowing down the breath. One more breath in. And then exhale, unwind completely. And then take your legs forward again. Maybe have a little bend in the knee. We're just going to take a little gentle forward fold so we can be present to what is going on in our lower back. So just be gentle. Just walk your hands forward. Find a place where you can feel that stretch in the lower back. You might inhale, lift and lengthen if it's feeling okay. And then if it feels ready, you can just come forward and come into a little forward fold. Just knowing what it's going to feel like as we get to our feet and we start practicing a little bit. You might know that you need to have a more generous bend in your knees as we make our way back up. So slowly breathe in and rise. And take your feet, hug them in, make yourself really tiny. Come into the seed pose. Give yourself another big hug. And then take your nose towards your knee and round forward. Full breath in. Nice big deep exhalation. We'll just explore some inner thighs and hips as we peel our legs out into Baddha Konasana, bringing your feet together. Sit up nice and tall. And just notice how this is feeling. You might feel that you can expand upon the stretch by reaching for your feet and peeling your feet apart. Maybe your legs come a little closer to the floor. Maybe not. Then as you're ready, take a hold of those feet, bend your elbows, and just come forward. One more time, explore that lower back. Decide if as we start to move in some sun salutations, you might want to have a little more of a bend in your knees to protect your lower back. We can go all day without being present to our lower back. I've done it. And all of a sudden I'm like, how did that happen? So just pay attention to what your body is telling you. And we'll just work out the kinks as much as we can. And slowly on your inhale, rise up, come on up. And take your knees and take your feet about hip width apart. Take your hands to the mat and just windshield washer them out. Get those outer hips a little prepared here for some deeper stretching. I'll check and see if anybody had any requests as you guys come up to tabletop. So take your blanket and place it nice and neatly on your mat. Smooth out all the wrinkles, get all the bumps out so you can be really present to your knees. Hi, Barb. And then come into tabletop. Spread your fingers nice and wide, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And as you're ready, drop your hips, lift your gaze, come into that famous cow pose. And as you're ready, exhale it through cat. Inhale, coming through cow. So we're getting a little deeper now. We might want to take these moves a little more, shall we say, aggressively, if you're ready, so we can get a little deeper stretch now that we know what we're working with. But stay present. If something is not working for you tonight, just let it be. This is supposed to be good for us and fun. Not stressful. So we'll take one more cow pose and one more cat pose, and then come back to your table. Shake it out, Sophie, shake it out. Let the tops of the feet just rest on the floor. And then sweep that left arm up. We'll come into thread the needle, but sweep it up and look up. Follow it with your gaze. Open up that shoulder. We haven't really tested out the shoulders, so it might feel good to take a shoulder circle. And then let that arm release up toward the sky. Maybe even take it back behind your back, finding a half bind. Take a full breath in. And exhale it out. And then reach it back up and then thread it on through. Come on down. Let your left temple come to the floor. Reach that right arm up. maybe take that arm back behind you, opening up that opposite shoulder. And just breathe here as you stretch that upper back, making space in the back side of the lungs. Breathing in and breathing out. And as you're ready, release that right hand to the floor. Inhale that left arm back up, following it with your gaze, still working on that neck a little bit, getting those kinks out. And then exhale that hand back down to the mat. And shake it out. When you're ready, reach that right arm up. That might not go as high. Take some circles, work out the kinks on this side. Good. And then decide if you want to take a half bind on this side. When you're ready, reach that arm back up, look up. And exhale, thread it through. Take that right temple to the floor. See if you can keep your hips a little more parallel with the floor. Reach that left arm up, opening that shoulder, maybe taking that half bind on that side. Full breath in and a deep exhalation. Inhale, lifting that left arm up, and exhale, left hand comes back to the mat, right hand rises, reaching, 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 and then take that hand back to the mat. Just notice how that feels. So if you shake it out and come to center, take a nice big breath in and then take your left foot and kickstand it out to the left. And then we're going to take the right foot out long on the mat and come up to gate pose. So reach your arms up here in gate pose. We'll have that right foot on the floor, and then take that right arm down that right leg and lean over to the right and look left. And if this bothers your knees, we will not be here long, I promise. And as you're ready, we'll take this left hand down to the floor, lift that right arm up, reach that right arm up, and we're already in a balanced pose. So just test it out, see how it feels. Those left toes are tucked to remind us to balance. Good. And if you really want to go for it and you're feeling like you want to test out your quadriceps, reach for that right ankle. Open up that right shoulder a little bit more. Just wobble. Wobble with me. Be present to every wobble. Squeezing that right shoulder blade back toward the left. Reach up, coming out the same way we came, reaching up, lowering that foot down and lowering the right hand down, coming back into your table, shake it out. Take that right foot and kickstand it out. Let's take that to the left side, test the waters here. Reach that right arm up. Oh wait, come all the way up. Reach your both arms up. I need to be more present to myself. Take that left arm down, reach that right arm overhead, lean. One more big breath in. And then exhale, take that right hand to the mat. Lift that left leg up and that left arm up. Get some balance going here. Just test the balance. Also the outer hips. Energizing those legs. And decide if you want to reach back for that ankle. Perfectly fine to stay where you are. Squeeze that left shoulder blade toward the right. Getting that engagement of the back body. Take one more breath in. And then release back out so we can, as gracefully as possible, come out of it and come back to tabletop. Hello. Okay, take your knees as wide as your mat. Decide if you want to tuck some pillows under you and come into extended child's pose just for a few breaths. And let yourself just melt into this pose and breathe into the back body. I was looking for some poetry for tonight, and I found this one that was kind of fun. It says, all that is gold does not glitter. All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost. From the ashes a fire shall be woken. A light from the shadows shall spring. Renewed shall be blade that was broken. The crownless again shall be king. Guess who wrote that? That was Tolkien. I had never heard that. I thought that was very hopeful, though. Being present to everything that's going on can be a challenge, but it's good to read hopeful poetry. So when you're ready, let's hopefully come up to a tabletop. Spread your fingers nice and wide, and then walk those fingers or your hands just a little bit forward of where they were. And then press your toes into the floor, and go ahead, lift your hips, come into your first downward facing dog. Let's just be present to that as we test those waters. So notice how that feels, getting that length in the spine. Take a big breath in and just walk your dog as you breathe slowly, pressing one heel down, then the other. Just explore sensation in the legs, and the shoulders, and the back. Keeping the breath slow and easy. And then find stillness. Come into a dog here that works for you. So maybe the knees are a little more bent because you noticed in the beginning that the lower back was a little tweaky. Good. Just be present enough so that you can make adjustments for yourself. Take another breath in, and then slowly make your way to the front of the mat. We'll come into a forward fold. So hands can come wherever you like. This is your practice. And bend those knees as much as you need to. Maybe even bringing your belly to your thighs. And maybe you bring your hands to your elbows and let your head dangle. Notice how the breath feels as you're upside down, getting a whole new perspective on things. Shake your head, yes. Shake your head, no. Nice. And then as you're ready, bend your knees, root your feet into the floor, and press yourself up, rising up and reaching up. Letting those fingers reach toward the heavens, getting the body nice and long. And then let your palms touch overhead. Draw your hands down to your heart. Come into mountain pose. Releasing the hands out to your side, spreading your fingers nice and wide, and making your chest, your heart space, your lungs really wide and open. Feeling the entire body standing on the earth, finding that presence, maybe closing your eyes here to just experience your own presence. Breathing in and breathing out. One more breath in. And one more breath out. And as you're ready, blink your eyes open, reach up and look up. And as you exhale, swan dive forward. Coming forward, head below heart. Inhale, halfway lift. Make that little table with your back. Find your gazing point just ahead of you so your neck is neutral. And then exhale, refold. Inhale, bend your knees enough to root and rise and reach. And let your palms come together and clasp your hands. Take your palms up toward the ceiling. Get really long. And just lean over to your left side. Stretching that right side body. pressing into that right foot. And then inhale, coming up to center and lean to your right. Just a gentle C shape with the body, banana shape. Inhale, rise up and reach up. And this time lean back. If you feel okay, maybe take your hands back to the lower back, squeeze your elbows together, or you can clasp your hands behind you. Lean back and look up. Pressing those hips forward. And then keep your hands together. See if you can clasp your hands and bend your knees and come forward. Let your head come down again below your heart. Reach your arms up, stretching your shoulders again. Maybe here you straighten your knees a little bit more. Maybe you keep those knees because you're so present to yourself that you know you need your knees bent. When you're ready, release your hands to the floor. Just take your right fingertips to the floor, lengthen into a halfway lift, and then take that left arm, reach it up and twist to the left. Look to the left. And then exhale, sweep that left hand down, reach the right arm up. See if you can follow it with your gaze, finding that twist. Upside down, awkward twist. And then exhale, reaching those fingertips down. One more time, we'll root to rise, reaching, getting long. And then let the palms come together, draw palms to heart center. And we'll meet again in mountain pose. Yes, we did it. We were down and now we're up, and now we're going to sink our hips down and come into chair pose. So reach your arms up, frame your ears, scoot your hiney back and down. Say hello to your quadriceps. Maybe lift and spread your toes and then press them into the earth. And then take your palms to your heart center and take a twist over to the right side. See if you can loop that left elbow over that right knee. Keeping the knees parallel and the hips pretty much where they were when you started, if you can. Nice big breath in. You might want to open your arms. You might want to take that half bind if that feels good. When you're ready, come back. Press your palms in towards your heart and switch to the other side. So see if you can take that right elbow to the outside of that left leg. Maybe you open up your arms, creating space in the chest and the shoulders. Maybe you take that bind. And then as you're ready, bring your palms back together. Slowly make your way back to center, and we'll release, straightening those legs, releasing the hands to the earth, releasing the head down toward the earth. Inhale your way halfway up, finding that L shape. And then exhale, take your hands down to the mat, step your way back, find a downward facing dog again. So notice how the dog feels here. How is that dog? Does he need or she need a little walk? Bend your knees and walk it out. And then find stillness. Be present to your breath. Notice your heartbeat. Notice your calves. Maybe you can press a little more, sending those hips higher to the sky as you look back towards your knees. And on your next inhalation, reach that right leg up to the sky. Get really long. And then go ahead, open that hip, coming into that fire hydrant pose. And take a few hip circles with that right knee. And then re-extend that leg, look forward. And we're going to draw that knee forward and step forward, taking our first warrior pose, warrior one. So that left foot is going to go to the left side of the mat, and the right foot's going to go pretty far over on that right side of the mat. The left foot is at an angle, and the right foot is facing forward. The right knee is bending, and you're pressing into that left side of the left foot, right? Warrior one. Take a nice big breath in, look up. Take your hands back behind your back on your exhale and pour yourself forward. We'll come into humble warrior. Lift your arms up high. Lift your head down low. Remember, wobbling is a sign of a yogi that's really trying hard. So be proud of your wobble. One more breath in, and then release your hands. We're going to take our right hand in front of our right foot. We're going to gently come forward and see if we can just lift that left leg up off the mat, lift that left arm off the mat. A lot of wobbling. It's completely normal. We're all human. If you fall out, come back. Come into half moon pose. Finding your balance pose here. Getting that right hip to do a little bit of work here, nothing crazy. Now we did this before. If you really feel like you're ready and you want to reach back for that left ankle and you've got a steady breath, then go for it. Perfectly fine to stay in your half moon. We'll be here for one more breath. You can release, and then we'll make our way back to warrior one as gracefully as you can. Good. Well, that was fun. Reach up and look up, and then exhale, send your hands back down to the mat. Just step back to downward facing dog. Yeah, that was fun. Walk out your dog, shake out your head. Find your breath. Find your presence. Nice big breath in, and lift that left leg. Find some length. Go ahead and open it up, same way. Take some fire hydrant circles. And then when you're ready, re-extend. Inhale, look forward. Think about that warrior one. Set it up on this side, so right foot comes over to the right side of the mat, left foot to the left. Sink into that front leg, knee over ankle, pressing into the right side of the right foot, and reaching those shoulders down away from the ears, framing the ears with your arms. Warrior one. Notice your heartbeat. Try not to think about what's coming, but be here in this pose, feeling every little part of the body that's being activated in this pose. See if you can be present to it by regulating the breath, slowing it down. And we'll take one more breath, not one more, we're taking many more. We'll take another big breath, and then take your hands back behind you. Clasp your hands a different way. Just rearrange the fingers so you're challenging your brain. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Maybe lean back and look up a little bit. And then when you're ready, humble warrior on this side. So it might feel different. Be present to it. Be okay with it. Different is good. As we say in the Super Sock song, if you haven't heard it. It's the song that goes with my book. Different is great, different is good. One more breath in. And when you're ready, slowly release your hands, staying super present. Take that left hand in front of that left foot. Bring your weight into that left foot. And slowly lift that right leg, coming into half moon on this side. Reaching up that right arm, extending it. Slowing down the breath, maybe reaching for that ankle, stretching that quadricep. And look, this is funny. It might not be fun, but it's funny if it's not fun. So just laugh, smile about it, and embrace the wobble. Just don't fall into your candle. That's not good. I just lit a brand new Thistle Farms candle. Not only do I not want to burn my hair, oh my gosh, I'm not being present. I'm sorry. See, that's what happens. Come back to your breath. We'll take one more breath in. And then we're going to gently and gracefully, more gracefully than me, step back to warrior one. Reach your arms up. Yes, the candle still burns. Take a nice big breath in. And exhale your way, taking your hands to the mat and stepping your left foot back, coming into that blessed downward facing dog, allowing this to be our resting pose. Taking another breath in, maybe walking it out, exhaling deeply and fully, and then again finding some stillness. Relaxing the head, neck, and shoulders. And that was so much fun. Let's just take another sequence and stretch a few more things before we come down to the mat and get really juicy and really stretchy. So reach that right leg up to the sky. Get super long. Look forward, draw that knee in, and go ahead and step it forward. Rise on up, crescent warrior. Reaching the arms up, fingertips reaching for the sky, drawing those pinkies toward one another and keeping those shoulders nice and down away from the ears. Breathe in and breathe out as you open up warrior two, sending your arms out from your shoulders, reaching in both directions, sinking into that front leg. Nice big breath in. Nice big breath out. And then as you're ready, we're just going to tilt like a windmill, taking the right fingertips down to the earth, lifting that left arm up. Breathing here. Maybe your gaze looks up toward your extended left hand. Maybe you take that half bind again, and maybe you're ready. You feel like this would be really fun. Take a full bind, opening up that left shoulder. You're completely fine to stay where you were for one more breath because it feels so good. And then as you exhale, take your left hand down to the mat. Spin your back foot forward so it's facing forward, and walk that right foot over to the right. And now we're going to come down and come into a lizard pose. So you might want to have a pillow or a blanket underneath you, or two pillows. You can scrunch them up. And we're just going to come into a comfy lizard pose, stretching those hips. So lowering your elbows down, finding a soft place to land is a really good idea. So breathing here, noticing. So being present to sensation and allowing that sensation to be, but allowing your breath to work with it. So maybe you slow down your breath again, closing your eyes. So it's not hard to notice that it can be challenging to stay in the present moment when things get tough, right? So that's what this practice is all about. Recognizing things are challenging. So what can we do? We can breathe. We can soften into this moment. And then, like the poem, we can look for that hope that pretty soon this lizard pose will end. But for now, this is where we are. And while we're here, we're being stretched in good ways. Such good ways. Take another couple of breaths here, and I'll just shut up. It's okay in this lizard pose to let this right foot just kind of splay out and let the right knee kind of open up to the right. That might feel really good and give you a different kind of stretch, or you can keep your foot planted. Let's take one more breath. And exhale it out. And then take your hands to your mat. Just move any props you have out of the way, but close by. Tuck your left foot and step your right foot back, coming into downward facing dog, the sacred dog. And you might want to walk it out. And you might want to find stillness again. And swallow in your throat, even though you're upside down. It relaxes the throat. Inhale and send your leg long. Get long, long, long. And then look forward. Step forward. We'll come into crescent on this side. So set yourself up, feet are facing forward. Reach your arms up, draw your shoulders down. And that back leg is straightish. And the front knee is over the ankle. Finding balance. Finding spacious breath. Finding presence. We got this. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, open up, warrior two on this side. So line your feet up so your left heel is lined up with that middle of the right foot. And then sink into that left knee. Good. Nice big breath in. Nice big breath out. And then reverse this warrior, reaching up, leaning back. And then we're going to come into our side angle, bringing those left fingertips to the floor, reaching up with the right arm. Again, deciding where you want to be tonight. So you might flip the palm and take that half bind, or you might decide a full bind is in your practice today. Whatever you do, be present to yourself. Let your breath keep you here now, as Ram Dass would say. Good. When you're ready, slowly release your bind if you have it. Take your hands to frame that left foot. Spin that right foot so it's facing the same direction as the left. And then take that left foot, walk it over. Take your hands to the inside of that left foot and slowly lower that right knee down, the right top of the foot down, and find your comfy accoutrement. And then lower on down for lizard pose on this side. Now is a great time to just close your eyes. Decide if you want to let that knee kind of open out to the left, coming up on the side of that left foot. And let your breath be your buddy here in this pose. is can you be here, present to it all. Use that breath from the ashes. A fire shall be woken, a light from the shadows shall spring. Renewed shall be blade that was broken. The crownless again shall be king. We're working toward that at the end of our practice. Hopefully we will all feel like kings and queens of the mat. When you're ready, remove that pillow, if you have it there, blanket. Let yourself come back up, lifting up on that right side, sending that left leg long and coming into downward facing dog, walking it out. Letting your dog release those hips. Dogs are good for that. And then press your heels. Really press yourself. Press your heels back into the earth. Let your spine lengthen out. Last chance at downward facing dog. Feels so good. Take one more breath in. And then we're going to come forward, either through plank or lowering your knees. Whether you decide to be in plank and rock forward and slowly lower down through low push-ups or lower your knees, just take your time so you can engage those arms, the biceps, the triceps, and the back. And then eventually make yourself all the way down, make yourself a pillow and come all the way down to your mat. Rock out your hips. And breathe here. Allowing the breath to move into the lower back, the middle back, and the upper back. And then bring your forehead to the mat and take your hands down by your side, by your sides. And you can have your palms facing up or facing down. Or you can even tuck your hands underneath your legs and let your legs press into your hands. I'm going to take a big breath. And just lift your head and shoulders, coming into a half locust, keeping the tops of the feet on the ground. Keeping a nice long neck so we're not craning in any way. Maybe lift up a little bit higher. Don't come up too high here. And start to feel that compression in the lower back. Just be aware and present to your back. Notice when you're ready to come out, and then make another pillow. Turn your head in the opposite direction and breathe here. I have made a mess. I must clean up my mess. Good job. So when you're ready, bring your forehead back to the mat. Take your hands back down and place them in whatever position feels right for you. Yogi's choice. I'm going to tuck mine underneath my legs. And when you're ready, we're going to lift head and shoulders, and then we're going to send our toes out long behind us, pointing our toes, drawing our shoulders up and squeezing our shoulder blades together, coming into locust here. Nice long neck, squeezing the glutes. And breathe. Maybe lift up a little bit higher. Maybe smile. And then slowly lower down. Take your neck to whatever side feels good and just rock your hips out. So good, so good, so good. And when you're ready, press your hands into the mat. We're going to come up slowly, and we're going to come through rabbit pose just to counter that pose. So rabbit pose is kind of fun. So we're going to take our crown of our head toward the mat, and we're going to tuck our knees in toward us and see if you can reach for the outsides of your feet. And then just like we did in that, that Halloween cat pose in the beginning, just draw your belly into your spine and round toward the ceiling. And breathe here. Let the spine get a nice stretch. Finding your breath. Finding your presence. And then as you are so ready, press yourself up. We're going to come over to one hip. Any hip will do. And then lower yourself down to your back. And then hug your knees into your chest. And take some circles, going in one direction. Massage out that lower back. And go the other way. And find some stillness. Give yourself a big hug here. And then we're going to take the left foot and cross it over the right, above the knee. And then reach for your ankles. And just hug them in. So a little stretch for the outer hips here. And close your eyes. You can relax here. Soften your shoulders, soften your face. Let the heart rate slow down. And then as you're ready, you might want to blink open your eyes for this. This is kind of tricky, so we're going to see what happens here. We're going to roll, we're going to keep our legs where they are, and then, wait a minute. We're going to roll to the right side because we've got our left foot, our left leg over top. We're going to roll to the right side, and I have a battery pack over here, so this is tricky for me. We're going to let that right knee come down toward the mat and see if you can reach back for this with your left hand for that right ankle. And then take your right hand and see if you can get a hold of either your ankle, the outside of your foot, and then extend that forward. And so here, if a pillow lands right underneath you, you have won the jackpot. And then take your shoulders and kind of tuck them underneath you so you can open up a little bit more with that left shoulder. And then, move around until you find the place where you can be still and be present to this silly pose. This is called cat pulling its tail, or cat tail. I did this pose in Vancouver. Yeah, Vancouver. And in Canada, they call it the New Yorker because they say New Yorkers are always multitasking. Busted. Americans. Not lately though, right? We've been very calm and placid and centered, mostly. Come back to your breath, come back to your presence. Don't let me distract you. This is just a test, having a talkative yoga teacher. It's more opportunity for you to practice being internally focused, tuning her out. Can you do it? Come back to your breath. I challenge you. See if you can soften that left shoulder a little bit more, opening it up a little bit more. We'll take one more breath. And exhale it out. And then slowly make your way back up, back to your back. Back to your back. Straighten that out. Get your spine all neutral and hug your knees in again. Maybe rock it from side to side. And then find some stillness. And we'll take that on the other side and modify as needed. So we're going to cross the right leg over the left this time. Getting into those outer hips, reach for your ankles and just soften your shoulders down. Breathe. Let your eyes close. Let your focus be on yourself, body, breath, and presence. Notice if you're resisting anywhere. See if you can soften. And take one more breath in. And the rollover is toward the left on this side. So when you're ready, just take yourself gently over toward the left. Take the right hand, reach for that right ankle. And take the left hand, reach for the outer side of this right foot and extend that leg long. And then scoot your shoulders underneath you and open up that shoulder on the right side. Take your gaze up toward the ceiling and just close your eyes or smile because this is funny and fun. And if this pose is just out of your reach, some of us, I think I have really long arms so I can reach my feet. Some people's arms are a little shorter. Some people's legs are a little longer. It's different for everyone. So you can always hold on to an ankle, a pant leg. And you can also take your gaze to the other side to make it more of a twist. Don't think of this as multitasking. Think of this as finding your own sacred presence in this moment, just like the t-shirt says. One more breath in. We've got this. Soften a little bit more. And then slowly bending that right knee. Bring it back to the mat and bring your feet together in supine Baddha Konasana. So just let your legs come out to the sides. You might take one pillow and prop it underneath you, underneath each knee. And then tuck your shoulders underneath you again and just soften here. Let the hips open up again. And let your breath soften. You might bring one hand to belly, one hand to chest, and just reconnect with that breath. So just like our lives these past few months, this practice has been a little unpredictable. Maybe we were a little shaky on our feet for a while, but we figured it out, right? We stayed present to what was, even the crazy, unpredictable poses that came up. And that's sometimes all we can do and the best we can do. And it becomes our practice to be present to what is, and somehow to find hope and gratitude through it all. We'll take one more breath in, and then reach down and draw your legs toward one another. Take your pillows aside, but keep them close by. Hug your knees into your chest. Bring your arms out to a T. Just drop your knees over to one side. Look in the other direction. Taking a final twist here. Sometimes life just calls for doing the next right thing, taking the next full breath. When you're ready, hug your knees into your chest and drop them to the other side. Ever so gently, turn your head to the opposite direction if that serves you. You have done such a great job just by coming to your mat. So feel good about that as you decide what your position of choice will be for your Shavasana. I'm going to say taking your pillows if you have them and laying them parallel with the mat and taking your hips to the edge and just lowering down. That sounds really, really nice, and oh, it is. Let me just tell you. And then if you have a blanket and you want to maybe place it on your belly, that's super comforting, or roll it up under your knees and let your feet come wide, let your arms open up, let your palms be facing up, and just close your eyes. Nothing left to do here except for let the practice settle in and just notice your very own presence. Softening the face and the brow and the jaw. Relaxing the shoulders down. Letting the legs and the hips be heavy. And the feet splay out to the sides. Swallow in the throat one last time. And just relax and release. This is a blessing from John O'Donohue's to bless the space between us. It's called, At the End of the Day, a Mirror of Questions. What dreams did I create last night? Where did my eyes linger today? Where was I blind? Where was I hurt without anyone noticing? What did I learn today? What did I read? What new thoughts visited me? What differences did I notice in those closest to me? Whom did I neglect? Where did I neglect myself? What did I begin today that might endure? How were my conversations? What did I do today for the poor and the excluded? Did I remember the dead today? Where could I have exposed myself to the risk of something different? Where did I allow myself to receive love? With whom today did I feel most myself? What reached me today? How deep did it imprint? Who saw me today? What visitations had I from the past and from the future? What did I avoid today? From the evidence, Why was I given this day? Begin to deepen the breath and bring small movements to fingers and toes. Gently move the head from side to side. And then roll to one side, curling up in a comfy, cozy little ball, and just notice. Notice how you feel. Notice your breath. Notice your presence. And as you're ready, use the strength of your arms to press yourself up to a comfy seat. We'll meet where we started. Allowing your eyes to close. I'm just pausing here. Just notice different parts of the body. Notice the hips, notice the legs. Notice the shoulders. We worked them all. Notice your mind. Is it a little more steady, a little more okay with the wobble? It has to be for me. When you're ready, bring your arms out wide, reach up, look up, send them up for all the goodness and draw them hands down to your heart center. Bring your chin to your chest and just pause, recalling your intention and perhaps sending a prayer of peace out into the world. Maybe entertaining some of those questions before you fall asleep tonight. And pondering that final question. Why was I given this life? Let me double check that. I'll get back to you on that. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you have a nice, restful sleep and a wonderful week. I'll see you next week. Present to you. Namaste.